Welcome back, beautiful people. All right, in order to take accountability for what has passed and what will be, there's no time like presently. So, for all those with mouths and ears, can we have a moment of your time? We want to gain some perspective. Can we have a piece of your mind? Going on, gentlemen.
Hey, what up?
Hey,
Another week, man. Another week.
So they bleeding, man. We're already in May. Like summer's basically here, man. Like it's going crazy fast.
Bro, I'm just glad it's starting to feel like some heat over here in Connecticut, man. It,
Nice.
Mother Nature been being acting real slow with us, to give us the heat consistently. It seemed like
I
a really
feel you on
bad
that.
allergy season too for a lot of people.
Yeah, man, really bad out this way. We've been having a lot of like wind storms, like wind advisories, like kind of shit where winds are up to 40 miles per hour. So yeah, allergies are brutal out this way, man.
yeah, a lot of people have been complaining about allergies out here. Like yesterday, I had to sit and watch my cousin for a while, until his mom
Are
got
you?
back because he was home from school. Yeah, I guess he had went to the hospital the day before because of, due to his allergies. So
Damn. Wow. I don't know that I've ever heard of anyone being hospitalized for their allergies. That's scary. Holy
Bro,
shit.
you know what, man? I used to the one I dread a lot for me is like a stuffy nose. I hate a stuffy nose. I hate anything that brings about a stuffy nose. Like I'm gonna have a bad day if I got a stuffy nose. But
Right.
that's like as bad as allergies get for me. You know what I'm saying? I felt the
Hmm.
itchy eyes before. I felt some of the other symptoms, but they don't get as annoying as the stuffy nose for me. But it wasn't until I started watching my Uncle Fabi in the summertime. Like he used to wear shades all the time, but like I don't know, as time progressed, it seemed like his allergies started getting worse and worse, and he had to wear shades because if he wasn't wearing shades, like his eyes would like puff up, like every winter, like I mean every summer, his eyes would puff up in spring and summer. So
Wow.
it's different levels for different people, man. The symptoms are worse in different areas. Like
All right. Do you think he wore the shades to block like any pollen, or did he just wear them just for his sake,
I,
just
I
to not
recall
be seen with
asking him
Puffy?
I recall asking him like, does his eye feel any better when he wears the shades compared to when it don't? I don't know if it's in his head. It was in his head, but he said it felt like it feels better when he wears
Yeah, no,
shades
I feel
all
that.
day as opposed to just leaving them exposed.
Yeah. Damn. That's wild. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know like my mom, she got bad allergies, man, and I don't even think she's ever been hospitalized, with like the asthma and the allergies and whatever, like all that shit when it hits together. Yeah, she's been in trouble, but that's wild, man. Like I've got an acute case of allergies, but like the most annoying one I've experienced, like I'm allergic to dust. So when it comes time to start cleaning and shit, man, like I gotta be the guy that's wearing gloves and stuff because my hands, they get swollen, bro, and like it's that shit. You ever been stung like by a bug or something? You feel that swelling like underneath the skin. Like
yeah,
that's what it feels like when I'm exposed to a lot of dust. It feels like that in my hands. That shit
yeah,
is hella uncomfortable, man.
yeah. I can't. You know what? I could imagine that getting in somebody's head too. You know what I mean? My son actually has, I guess you could say, a skin allergy. He got eczema,
Yeah, I
and
got that. Yeah.
yeah, and like there's times where he say he can actually like feel his skin like kind of um I don't know, like he could feel like his skin like getting bumps and stuff like that. Like he could feel it like as it's happening kind of thing.
I don't know if y'all could see that. Like like the eczema for me, bro, it gets so
oh, okay,
bad.
yeah, I
Like
see.
Yeah, I can
yeah,
see
my
that. Yeah,
skin, yo, it rips. Like it gets so dry, the shit starts to rip. And that shit's painful, bro. Like if I go like a day without lotion, bro, this kind of shit happens. Like I forgot to put lotion on my hands this morning, and because the dry air and the wind and shit, yo, my hands just start ripping open. That eczema is no joke, man. That shit sucks.
can I ask you a
Aiden
question,
got it
Hector?
too. Yeah.
What do you know about like yourself and food allergies?
Oh, I know everything, man. When I was little, my mom took me to see an allergist, basically a doctor that specializes in whatever kinds of allergies you got. And I remember they sat me on this like this chair, and they took like a thumbtack, like, you know, those really really little thumbtacks, but it was a bunch of needles, and they pricked me with like 40 to 50 different kinds of common allergies on my back.
Yeah.
And they wanted to see which ones I was most exposed to. So it was like a grid of like different things that they poked on my back, and whichever one swelled up was the ones I was allergic to. And fortunately, the only food allergy that came back was like shellfish. So like crabs and lobster, things like that. That's the only food allergy I got. So I'm lucky there, because, you know, I like food, man.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
so yeah, I don't ever eat anything out of the water. I don't eat fish. I don't eat anything that comes from the water, just because of a fear of it. And then I even like have to watch like different restaurants I go to. Like I have to make sure that, you know, when they cook their meals, you know, they use different
Oil.
grills for different foods and shit, because, you
Yeah.
know, like cross contamination and shit like that. So for a little while, this scared the shit out of me thinking about it. But, you know, over the years, I've kind of been a little bit more relaxed, and I just make it clear to avoid places that focus on seafood. So like, you ain't gonna catch me at no Red Lobster. You know, you're not gonna catch me at, you know, any of them food spots. Like, because yeah, just that's the only food allergy I got. So I'm lucky there.
Was that the only time you ever did it? Was like a long time ago when you and Anna went?
Yeah. I didn't do it anytime recently, so I don't know if I've developed any kind of like
So,
resistance.
Yeah, so I know they say what we're allergic to and stuff that changes, it shifts with time. It's
That's what I've
possible
heard
for it
too.
to shift. I was thinking maybe you should try this out. I had tried something recently. I went to I want to say it was a naturopedic, something like that, a pedic, and all he really did was like same thing. Like, you know, he asked me questions about what's going on with me, like this thing right here being one of them. It's not on my forehead. You know, we determined it's like a diploma bump, right? But he also like he asked me if I have it anywhere else, stuff like that, right? To determine like what's the possibilities. Then after going through that, like he did like extensive blood work on me.
Mm.
You know what I mean? To kind of narrow down like, you know, what I may be low on as far as like vitamin D or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then he also did like a almost like a basic like food allergy test on me. But the thing is with food allergies that you know, people don't really pay mind to, is like it's like, okay, rosemary was one for me, right? I have like a mild sensitivity to rosemary, like a soft sensitivity. But the thing is, it's a soft sensitivity, so that doesn't mean like I'm gonna break out. That doesn't necessarily mean like it's gonna be something that I see immediately. But if I keep consuming rosemary, what's happening is like it's more like you're poisoning yourself slowly and over time. You get what I'm saying? It's like accumulative. You know what I mean? So like, you know, maybe so I'm thinking like maybe if you did like a food ad, like an extensive one, and really like learn like the sensitivities, even be it big or small, and maybe like cut some things out of your diet. I seen it happen for my son anyway. I took him to the natural pedic, and he told him like certain things to stay away from for a while. And I swear to God, that shit was like the shit was like fucking Naruto. When Sasuke got the damn curse coming in, and the curse kind of like going out,
just pull itself away.
Yo, I was seeing my son's skin like clear up, like it was almost rapid, like day after day, like, and I was just from eating clean for like a week or two. You know what I'm saying?
Fire, dude. Hell yeah.
The doctor was also saying it's important to keep up the consistency and trying to make that a regular routine of eating like things that you're staying away from the things that you don't really need. And then eventually what you can do is start incorporating those things into your food a little by little, and really take a note of how it makes you feel after after you've kind of like kept it out of your life for a little while and then brought some things back in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You kind of get to see what they individually do to you. You know what I mean? If you start to see your hands start to feel itchy or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But
that's dope, man. I never thought about like my diet being, you know, the predicate that causes it. Like I really never actually thought about that. So that's kind of cool to hear that, because now, yeah, I am curious. Like, if I'm consuming anything that's, drying me out, if you will, like,
Yeah,
that's wild.
yeah. It was just amazing to see it was just amazing to see how it affected Dylan in a positive way. You know what I mean? And
Right.
not to say my son stuck with it. You know what I mean? To the fullest extent, but he now experienced and felt and seen it working for himself. So for me, it's like when the time comes and he's ready to get serious about that. Well, now he knows of a way. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of those, the lotions, the Aquaphor, I've been dealing with it with my son for his whole life. So all of that stuff is like it's temporary fix. It kind of eases it. It kind of makes it feels okay. Like, and sometimes sometimes the skin does okay, but it was never nothing like when he stood away from the food. You know what I mean? It was never nothing like that, bro. That I like literally day after day. If I had it, I wish I was recording it day after day, because it really, if I would have put it on fast forward, that shit would have looked like Sasuke, like
Yeah.
curse mark was like, you know what I mean,
Dude,
disappearing,
that's
bro.
wild. I will share a story, man. Like, when I didn't know I had eczema until I was out here in Colorado, because it's much, much drier out this way, the climate. Because being in Connecticut my whole life, I was right there up on the water, especially. Like, there was a lot of moisture in the air, so my body would just absorb it and I was solid, But when I came to Colorado, man, like it was about maybe a year and a half in or something when I really experienced like eczema. And it was bad. It was so bad, man.
You know
Like
what,
I
Hack?
had
I think I
gone,
remember you coming back to Connecticut one time, bro, and I think I seen it on your face. Your skin was kind of
yeah,
like peeling,
it
like
was
in
it
the
was on my
wintertime.
eyes, it was on my face. I had it on my like yo, it was so bad. I have a spot. I have two little spots, like little dots on my shoulder where the eczema was so bad it ate the pigmentation in my skin. Like it looks like two little like just solid white dots on my shoulder because the pigmentation was getting damaged because of it.
That's
Um,
crazy, yo.
it sucked, bro, because like I would use all different kinds of lotion to try to help out. And I remember some of the lotions feeling like acid, like I put it on and it felt like I was on fire. Like, dude, that shit had me in tears, man, crying, going to the ER, like trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with me. And then someone was like, oh, you got a
Hey,
really
heck, man,
severe
we just
case of
discovered something,
eczema.
bro. I'm sorry to interrupt you, bro. We just discovered something. You said you never heard of allergies bringing someone to the hospital.
Oh,
Eczema is considered an allergy. That's just on the skin.
oh, hey, look at
It's
that.
considered an
Look at
allergy, bro.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was definitely up in the hospital for that one, man. It was excruciating pain, man. And I'm gonna shout out to Aveeno, the company that deals with like body washes and lotion. Because it took me a year or so to figure out like a good lotion, man. And then I came across this Aveeno lotion, this eczema therapy one, and I've been using that shit for 50, almost as long as Aiden's been alive, man, or more. I've been using that lotion, that brand of lotion, and it helped me a lot, man. It feels good too, and it's not one of those lotions where it feels like you're getting all clammy and like weird. It absorbs really well, and it smells nice too. So once I
That's
discovered that,
always
man,
good.
like I've had it under control for a minute since then. But yeah, man, that shit really messed me up. Eczema messed me up bad. And Aiden got it too, unfortunately. And I guess that shit's hereditary. So he ended up with it. And, we used my lotion on him. And right away, it's like, all right, he's good for it as long as, he's using the lotion. But yeah, now that I know the diet thing, man, I'm got to do research into that and figure it out. Like, what are we consuming or what are we not consuming, that we need? Because, like, I know my body naturally doesn't produce enough vitamin D. So like, every once in a while I got to take a vitamin D pill just to kind of get me up. But
They say
like,
somehow they say we're all, like the naturopathic, whatever. The guy I went to, he was telling me that most people are deficient in vitamin. I think it was vitamin D because I guess our ancestors by nature we were outside, like houses, society, these things they they cover us from the sun most of the time. So you know what I mean? If we're not outdoors all the time, we're all vitamin D deficient. That is one of the things he was saying, like most people deal with. But he was saying mostly black. He was saying black people more too though. But I don't know. It's something about our skin.
Damn,
I don't remember that part. Hey, if you guys are wondering why Brian's sitting over there all quiet and cozy, it's because this bastard don't get sick too much, man. This man, he don't feel too much of nothing. He never really suffered from allergies. This dude barely gets headaches, man. And when he get sick, this dude's he's like the human he's like Wolverine from X-Men, man. This dude, like, he be sick for like, I don't know, man. Like 10 minutes. Barely a day, yo.
I might get like the sniffles or something. I'll drink some Theraflu or whatever, Is asleep. Yeah. I'm right back at it the next day.
That's dope.
Hey, I heard some war stories about Brian too in his heyday, his drinking days, man. They say Brian to drink get messed up, right? But then the first thing in the morning, he be the first one up. Like, all right, what we doing, man? What y'all doing? I gotta sleep all day.
Oh yeah.
Can't do it no more though. That's one thing. Ooh. The recovery time is definitely reduced. In my 20s, it was easy. I used to have to work like at 7 o'clock in the morning. Somehow be up, ready to go. Now I'll forget about it.
Oh man, damn. I feel you on that. Yeah, I when I get sick, man, I end up usually with the man cold. I'll get sick like once a year, and that shit hits me hard, and I'm like, So, oof. I wish I could recover in just a day. That'd be amazing. Shit.
I feel like 2023 and 2024 was like unusually good for me. I feel like I was healthy more than not. Like, I used to be able to claim like getting something 3 times a year. I can't even say I could claim that for real, and I don't even want to neither, man. Let's keep the bad things away, man. Yeah. Not even talk it up for real, right?
I try to keep a streak going, If I can make it through the whole year without catching the cold, I'm good.
Oh yeah,
for real.
Oh yeah. So Frank, it's been a few weeks, man. I have been wildly curious, bro. But I figured I'd let it go, let time do what it does. Because parenting is never ending, man. It comes and goes in some moments more than others. But I'm curious, bro, of the conversation that, what was it, back on 420, you said that Dylan had participated in a little something recreational. And I'm very curious, bro. What came of that conversation? What occurred there, bro? What changes and transitions?
You know what? After like chopping it up with you guys and chopping it up right here on the podcast, honestly, like, and really just kind of like getting that opportunity to like really process it. Like, I don't know. I end up kind of being, I honestly end up feeling kind of content with the conversation we already had, me and my son. And I was content with just watching his behavior. Like, from this day on, like, you know what I mean? He and he told me it's not something he's interested in pursuing any further, like, you know what I mean, in that. And, work is still like, important to him, finding, making his own money. So yeah, I didn't even bother bringing it back up, honestly. You know what I mean? I felt okay. I felt okay after like chopping it up with you guys for real, man. You know what I mean? I felt really good, so I didn't even bother him again. Yeah,
that's cool though. That's cool. Like, I was curious, man. Like I said, because my boy, he'll be 15 this summer, and so I've been just kind of preparing for all the hypotheticals that are going to come, with like driving and with girls and meeting up with people that are doing different things. Some people do this, some people do that. And so I've been curious because, like, I really wanted to ask you because, I've been here before, in my previous relationship. There there were 2 other children involved, and they were, you know, of the age where I could learn from their experiences. And fortunately, I got to participate in that, you know, and in the decision making and how they took that. But you know, it's a little different when it's your own biological child, you know, because then they know you from the very beginning, you know them from the very beginning, and then attitudes and personalities and all that. But yeah, I was like, you know, hoping that I could learn something from you from your interaction. And I think even though that you didn't really bring it back up, I really do think that I still did learn something from the fact that, you know, our communication, our conversation kind of puts you in a place to believe that you've been doing it right all along. So you didn't need to like drill into him or dig deep for something, you know. So I think just kind of just preparing yourself for a conversation is like a good thing to do, man, especially in a situation like that where, you know, we could be you know, in a reactive state where we just want to like hear a certain word and then lynch onto that one. And, oh no, we got to get him now because he said that word or some shit, you know. But yeah,
I mean, you know what, heck, bro? Honestly, like, you know what I like to do, heck, is I remember being a teen, and I remember who I was, and I remember, I could remember, like, I can't say like my mom and dad was like, yo, don't smoke weed, wear condoms, don't do this, that, and I can't say that was them, and or you know, don't do this with these kind of friends, don't hang with these. They might have mildly say these things, but like they weren't really watching me, like, you know what I mean, to know for sure I was doing that. They just took my word for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then if they told me to be in the house at a certain time or you know, something like that, I mean, those were my opportunities to show my responsibility. You know what I'm saying? That's how I seen it. And I was okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I was happy my parents were like that, and to some extent. And now it's like I'm okay extending that same kind of like faith and belief in my kid, I guess, because like, yo, I'm not gonna be there I'm not gonna be there for every choice that he makes. Like, you know what I mean? Or like some things that's just like I gotta trust what I installed to this point, and you know, let him take it away, man. You know, let him
I
take it
like
away.
that.
The older one got his driver's license less than 2 months ago now. And he already took a trip across the to a different state. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know, and I mean, like, was I against it? Not really. Was I for it? Not really. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But at the same time, it was experience. I was just telling, it was an experience, and I said, hey, look, just don't be too cocky out there. Understand you're in a different state, and they drive a little differently. Raise your awareness when you out there. You know what I mean? That's all I can really do. Raise your awareness, man. Pick it up.
Yeah.
Call me if you need me.
That's what's up. Yeah, you're doing good, Frank. You're doing good, man. You're setting a good example. That's
I
what's up,
appreciate
bro.
that, man.
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah, you know.
That's cool because y'all like, go ahead, B.
Oh, you know, I was gonna say, you know, I'm hoping I have the same kind of open line of communication with my son that, you know, that my brother has with his. You know, like I think it's cool that they feel comfortable enough to go and talk to him about, you know, certain things like that. Like when my nephew told him, hey, you know, on 420, I decided to experiment with this, and that, right? You know, I like that, you know, he feels confident enough that he can tell his father something like that and not get an overreaction or, you know, not feel, you know, judged or, you know, get admonished for something like that. So, you know, I want my son to be able to do the same thing with me when he gets older. And, you know, and I'll be able to give him my experience and wisdom and my advice, you know, like, because coming up, like, you know, we weren't told, you know, it's like Frank said, don't do this, don't do that. It was more like don't allow your friends to make your decisions for you. Like whatever you do decide to do, make sure it's your decision, right? So that's something that I think is important. I never felt peer pressure into doing anything. And I think a big part of that is because, you know, I had that in the back of my mind already that, you know, whatever I decide to do, it's my decision. And, you know,
No,
That was
that's dope.
definitely
something
one
I
of my
like
mom's
to
favorite ones.
support.
I remember that one, baby. That was definitely one of mommy's favorite lessons to push.
Here.
That's cool, man. That's a good one, man. Like, cause yo, Frankie, way earlier on in the podcast, bro, we had a conversation, and we talked about fear. You know, like a lot of people make decisions, and judgment based on fear, and I feel like that's kind of how I was raised. Was a lot of fear based. You know, don't do this because you'll end up like that, or you know, be careful of that because this will happen. There was always like this sort of you know, here's what it is and here's what could happen. You know, you've got your decision and your consequence kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I feel like I was raised in that manner. Understandably, you know, my mom was young when she had me, so she was like figuring out a lot of life with a kid. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like that shit's hardcore. But so, you know, a lot of her teachings, you know, from my grandparents, trying to teach her, you know, what's up. Like it came off fear based, and so I remember a lot of my lessons. Always found myself like, you know, I got the angel and the devil and shit on the shoulders, and I'm like, this is one of those moments. Like, you know, which one do I do? Like I remember everything that ever came up that felt impactful. I found myself thinking in that manner, like, oh shit, this is one of them crossroads, you know, this is one of
Yeah,
those
I felt two
those
ways
character
about this.
dialogues.
Yeah. I
So
feel more than one way about this.
yeah, so that's cool that you know, that mama pushed that, because you know that's a good thing, man. I might have to figure out a way to say that to Aiden so that he'll understand that, you know, just make your own decisions, because that's good, man. That's empowering. It's so simple, it's so subtle, but it's so fucking empowering, man, because you know who you are better than anyone, so make that decision for yourself. That's so fire, dude.
Yeah.
I love
You
that.
know what? When I think about it, my mom was a storyteller. Like my mom, I probably know all of my mom's like childhood stories. My mom grew up in a house with like 6, 7 other siblings. Like, you know what I mean? My grandmother was like 14 when the first one was born. Like, you know what I mean? And then it was just pop, 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 pop. You know what I mean? And yeah, my grandmother also, I think my grandfather was like 10 years older than her or something like that. But even with all that, my grandmother didn't have like a formal education. They went, you know, they grew up in the ghetto, stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? But even with all that, there were certain narratives that my grandmother used to push. And, you know, my my parents, my aunts, my uncles, they could tell a story about my grandmother in a darker light and a light, you know, like a lighter light, like when she found more light. But even in those times where she wasn't like the best Catherine she can be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there were still messages that she was real stern about with them. You know what I mean? And whatever it was enough to get them out of, like, you know, break them from a vicious cycle of of like living off of the you know, off of assistance. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a cycle for people. Like, you know what I mean? Some people in the projects, like they, you know, they're getting assistance, then their kids get older, and they you know, they do the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was kind of dope to get stories from my mom, and even kind of like draw connections that, like, yo, the narrative and stuff my mom pushes is actually what my grandmother pushed too. You know what I mean? It almost felt like we kept something that's still going generationally, that in that capacity. You know, but learning about it is something too, though. Like just knowing that I have this story and it stems from that far back, it makes me feel like, I don't know, more about it. Like,
Okay.
It makes me feel more about it. Like, yeah, no, this is right. This is what my grandmother wanted. This is what my parents wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Decide for myself. Kind of make my own path. Like,
damn, that's That's good, man. Kate and I were having a conversation a couple days ago, and we were talking about like different things that we experience in our past, and then bringing them up, today kind of makes us feel like a certain way. Like, you might feel a lump in your throat, you might feel your stomach cringe and shit, short of breath or whatnot, like different experiences. And then some of that turned into, learning how to unlearn some things and like be willing to break yourself apart of all the bad things you might have learned to rebuild something better, kind of shit. And I feel like, a lot of what you're saying was, what Grandma Catherine was like taking her experiences and then trying to use those experiences to teach them to do something different with, kind of go away from this thing, because this thing is not wrong, but it's not the right thing either. You know what I'm saying? So try coming this way a little bit. This is a little bit better, and kind of enforcing that, man. Because I feel like, I found myself had taken a lot of my own time to undo a lot of the learning I did. So like all that fear-based shit, growing up, I learned to not be so fearful. Like, just try it. And if you try it, you don't like it, that's fine. You can try again later. It might change. It might not. That's okay. You tried, and doing different shit, moving differently, being willing to be vulnerable. And then, yeah, if I've got a bad habit, like, yo, help me like realize that. Like, let me help you realize that. Let's point it out. Let's break that shit and then
bro,
build something new.
You talking to power? That's a powerful point in for any accountability partner. Like, yo, we all should be one another's accountability partners. We are the eyes that, for my accountability partner, I'm the eyes that sees him in a way that he cannot see himself unless he's seeing it standing in the mirror.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you have a spouse, when you got Kate, Hector, you got Kate talks. You guys brainstorm often. You guys talk often. She knows your desires. What you like through watching your habits, through what you tell her. So when you start moving or doing something that like your body language ain't speaking the truth of, like, it does not match up with your words, like that's when your partner's supposed to step in. Like, hey, bro, that you said you want to be this way, but that's what you're doing is actually counterproductive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you said you were saving for a car, but me and you been to McDonald's like 5 times this week, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, you said you was trying to lose weight, but bro, you know what I'm saying?
You've been to McDonald's 5 times this week.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's you're absolutely right, bro. That's what it should be, a natural thing for us. We get it's uncomfortable. It's a hard conversation for people to have, to be real. When and like
that.
Yeah. And heck, it sounds like what you and Kate was talking about. A lot of people, some people will refer to it as like doing the shadow work, man. And it's actually dope to hear other people's experiences with like confronting some of these past day habits that we still hold on to. That's one way of putting it. You know what I'm saying? Because we are creatures of habit. So you know what I mean? When we learn to respond a certain way to certain thing, like, I don't know, for when we were younger, we always responded by yelling. As we get older, it's more of a habit than it is just us feeling like yelling and screaming. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's just, this is how we're used to. This is how I talk.
Right. Right.
What did Dave Chappelle say as Samuel L. Jackson? I'm not yelling. That's just the way I
talk. Can you please stop yelling? No, I can't stop yelling. Because that's the way I talk. Haven't seen any of my movies.
Oh, man. No, that's real. Like, yeah, I'm all about unlearning bad behaviors, man, and bad habits, and just, like, yo, you're right. Like, yelling and shit. Like, I don't like yelling, first off. Like, so, like, you ever been in a conversation, man, and someone's talking, and then someone else starts talking and they talk louder, and then someone else starts talking louder, and it just keeps getting louder, and everybody's like, yo, the moment I realize that's happening, I'm out of that conversation right away. Like I'm done. Like I don't like, like doing that, because like, yeah, I get it. Some people are just raising their energy and everybody else is matching it. But like, yo, I'm like, let's just chill right here. Like we could get the same shit going right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like, yo, that's one of the things I'm trying to like really learn how to do is like navigate conversations like that, bro. I want to stop walking away from those things. That was my reaction to like stuff like that. So it's like I just rather not be bothered. I mean, the truth is, depending on who I'm talking to, I still rather not be bothered, because the person who's,
Yeah.
But anyway, for a lot of reasons, I still rather not be bothered. But like I don't know, man. I don't know, heck, man. So it goes, bro. So it goes, bro.
Yeah, no, for real. That's just is what it is. And like that last few episodes we were talking about like questions and stupid questions, or do you have questions for your partner? And like, yo, I'm always, like, as with my lady, man, I'm always in a state of discovery, if you will. Because like you said a moment ago, bro, like, with your kid, you'll never be there for all of his decisions. It's impossible. Shit. If I'm being truthfully honest, sometimes we're not always present for our own decisions because we've got so much shit going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it's hard.
Especially when they start pulling out them damn contracts with all them words and shit.
Man, listen, bro.
Blah blah blah. Sign right here.
Right. I'm just fuck it.
Start carrying the magnifying glass. I'm like, are you really gonna sit there and read that? Yes.
Yeah, right. Oh man, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I find myself in a constant state of discovery because, yeah, man, like I just like learning about who is around me, and like I'm with my kid, like I like asking him every time I pick him up from his mom's house. Every time, I run through a series of questions, always the same questions, man. Hey babe, how was your week? What'd you guys do? Anything cool at school? And then it's like, okay, you hungry? Did you eat? You want to get some food? What are you feeling? And then I'll always ask him, you hear any new music? You got anything new to share? And I love when he answers that one with yes, because like, yo, there's excitement. Like he gets the Bluetooth connected, he's up in his phone, and it's like dope. Like we got this connection between us, because he and I, we go on these musical journeys frequently. So like I'll share some Tosh Sultana, it's a guitarist, man. She's fucking awesome. I'll share some hip hop, I'll share whatever I hear that just sounds so good to me, that like something talked to me, and I want to share that with him and see if it talks to him the same. Yeah. And he'll do the same thing, he'll find that thing and he'll share it with me. And that's just one of our many levels of being able to communicate, because I've realized as I've gotten older that, communication isn't always about what I'm talking about or message or nah, man, let's just share a moment together. Yo, look at this fucking cloud. Let's stare at it and see how many things we see in that cloud. That's, that's a form of communication. It's visual communication. Or damn, you hear that on the news? Yeah, my heart hurts because of that. Now we're sharing an emotional connection, emotional communication. And I like being able to find that in anything I do with someone. So like with Kate and I, I lay with this woman. So we get to have these intimate moments where we can share a lot of that. And it could be as simple as, hey, what was your favorite color today? And I'll be like, oh shit, yo, I just saw this red slide that was like the most red I've ever seen in my life. And we'll start talking about that out of it. It'll spark a whole fucking conversation. And that shit is dope to me, because I'm discovering a little bit about me and why I loved it, and she's getting to hear it. And so I encourage that shit, man. That communication, yo, like, that's a big deal, man. And to know that Grandma Catherine was throwing that downwards, and, you and Mommy was talking about that, and then now you and your boy, like, yo, y'all, Francis family is killing it, yo. Y'all are doing it, man. That shit is dope, man. That's where I want to be at, yo.
Man, we working on it, man. You know what, man? I've been coming into some realizations recently. I used to hear all the time, like, yo, this is a white man's world, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not really like one that like to get in the race or like feeling like like I don't like feeling like I'm oppressed or like somebody's hanging something over me. I just would rather go after my opportunities. But like in all of my studies recently, and in my findings, like to me, it's like I'm starting to understand why they say this is a white man's world, right? Because like, okay, I'm I have a father from the islands. I have a mother from from the United States. But
Mhm.
in more recent histories, like if you went back in history, like there's lost papers, there's no structure from like back in the days. Where as opposed to like a lot of other people who's been constantly growing from generation to generation, they actually have things to pass down. They already have like certain knowledge and things into like stocks and stuff like that. You
Mhm.
get what I'm saying? Like they already have some type of like structure. It's almost like the same thing how about my grandmother got to pass a story down that still continues.
Mhm.
They got stories, they got buildings, they got houses, they got you know what I mean? They got legal documents, they got freaking, they got the ways
Process and
around.
procedure and
Yeah,
shit,
you
man.
get what I'm
Yep.
saying? They got the process and procedure down packed more here in the U.S. Whereas opposed a lot of the minorities who don't have generations on the U.S. soil, they're just now picking it up off the ground or just now trying to lay a foundation. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So I mean, that's only one concept I've kind of like I don't know. I guess I internalized more recently. But I mean, it's still open, of course, for interpretation, and nothing never closes for interpretation with me. I feel like
Hey,
it'd
okay.
be a long time
Okay.
before it closes for interpretation. But
All right. That's dope. That's interesting. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Like I find myself, every day like thinking about my kids, with both my son and my daughter. My son, like I said, he's gonna be 15 in the summer, and then baby girl, she'll be 9, and at the end of the year, and that's gonna be here before you know it. And as they grow, man, I'm looking for ways to continue keeping up with their communication because that's another barrier. Is like, um, knowing the words that are in, like lit, and what glazing is, and all this extra shit, like keeping up with the lingo. You know what I mean? So like, not only is there the lingo I got to keep up with, but then I got to work on my tonage and then the message and just make it make sense. And I got to
yeah,
do that with both of them, kind of shit, man.
heck, man, if you don't mind me intervening, my man, my bro,
Yeah.
I want to tell you, man, like I don't know what you think about your own parenting skills, heck, but I see a man that I'm proud of, man. I see my brother. I'm very
Oh man,
proud
I
of you. You know what
appreciate
I'm saying? And
that.
I want to let you know, yo, I don't feel like there's anything to overthink, man. You and your son already have a good relationship at this point,
Mm,
and your son already feels about you how he feels about you. At this point, man, the best thing we can do, and as far as no, of course, as long as of course, always being their mentor and there for them when they need us. But best thing we can do is better ourselves, right? And let them
yeah,
witness that betterment. You know what I'm saying?
I
So if
agree.
even if it's something that's better, like you want to focus on being able to communicate better. You know what I mean, or talk to him better. That's something he's gonna take notice of. That's something I'm learning. My kids notice how I am. They notice like they bring up like, yo, dad, you know what? I do respect that you never trip on me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in everything it's crazy because now when they do get a chance to like iterate something to me, like everything I was hoping I can have with my kids when they hit like the age that they are now, like I have a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? I have that communication. But it was the same. It was the same thing though. It was like, am I doing this right? Even with the when I don't know if you remember, but I had started saving with them like only like 3 or 4 years ago. We just started like just saving. Like I started giving them money. I started making sure they take out their 10%. I started having them do it themselves. And
Mhm.
I'm doing this stuff with them every week, but I'm not sure if any of this stuff is sticking for real. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm stressing in my head, like, am I doing a good job? This is stuff I didn't really know. Like, I can't say my mom didn't attempt, but it wasn't stuff I really paid attention to myself. So it's like, am I doing a good job with them? But
Mhm.
then, a few years later, my younger one brought 2 scooters. My older one saved up and got his own car. And you
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? So I know they learned something. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
take that action and don't beat yourself up too much, heck, man. Take that. You're already taking that action, man.
Yeah, that's something I probably could be better at. Not being so focused on if I'm doing it right, and just believe that I'm
You know
pretty
what you're doing,
goddamn
heck, man. You
mindful,
got
man.
this, man. You know you know the energy you putting out, bro. We
Yeah,
got
for
to
real.
trust. Some of the thing
Trust
is we got to
that.
trust in ourselves, bro.
Yep.
I have the same problem.
Yep.
That's the only reason I can speak it. Right? We got to trust. We got to trust that we know what we're trying to put out, and we just got to trust that it's being felt, it's being heard, it's being the consistency. They see you consistent. They see us consistently working, and they know they know that, like, okay, he ain't just talking the talk, he walking it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
No.
That's it. That's real. That's real. Yeah, it's a fun experience, man. Like I said, parenting is just dope. There's a lot of learning that comes from it, man. From just what you're willing to tolerate, what you're willing to let go, what you're really willing to dig your claws into, kind of shit, man. What kinds of things bother you the most? Like, I've been learning that a lot too. Like, I don't care about that, but like, wow, this thing right here drives me fucking crazy. I don't like this,
Yeah, man. I think we could get into a whole conversation about this one, man. But I know we wanted to get back. I know we want to cover a little bit of what we talked about last week with this hip hop battle.
Man.
But before we do that, man, guys, constantly, we're trying to grow. I mean, it's a slow grind. Slow grind, man. But we slowly getting it together.
Oh shit! It came.
It made it.
Hey.
It made it. Just the time for it to get hot. I got my hoodie.
Look at it. Look at it, bro. Hey. Look at that, bro.
All right, we official now, man.
That's official. Yeah, that's clean. Yes.
Yeah, I like how that came out.
Love it.
So,
I love it.
That being said, man, if you like to show your accountability partners some support, check out our merch, man. Go to pieceofyours.store. www.pieceofyours.store. You can check out some of these hoodies, and then we also got some affirmated pieces, man. We're definitely trying to get some people, talk to some people, man. Get some personalized pieces for you, man. Affirmated just for you. Check out the store, and hit us up.
Yeah, and you guys, I'll put that link in the description for y'all out there in the world, man. So, yeah, like Frankie said, just show some love and support. We've been working on it. Yo, guys, this one right here, this is episode 51. Like, yo, we are right there at the year mark of doing this, man. And so little changes, and that stuff is coming, y'all. Like, we're looking to do a little more, just a little bit, That hoodie is fire, though, man. I'm loving that, Frank.
That's what's up. Shout outs to Kate. Shout out to Kate for hooking up the store. But there's still a little bit to do. Anybody, if you guys get to go check out the store, again, that's Piece of Yours, or with an S. Okay, Piece of Yours.
Yeah.
.store.
Bring your mic in closer, bro. But yeah, I'm a
definitely. Piece of Yours.store. If you guys get a check, man, shout outs to Kate. Kate definitely helped us out with the website. If anybody get a chance to check it out anytime soon, it's not fully optimized yet. But if you have any tips, advice, or suggestions, please feel free to share.
Bring it here. We want it.
Here, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. You can comment anywhere in any one of those. You can find us at Piece of Your Mind podcast. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff.
That's right. All right. But yeah, man, going back into it, like last week, bro, Kendrick, K-Dot. He took the dub. I mean, if we're keeping it strictly hip hop, like, it was a battle of lyricists, man. Drake actually showed up. He played. He participated, man. I give him credit for that.
Yeah.
Because when you go against when you're going against the giant, man, you got to come correct. You know what I'm saying? and Kendrick is, he is the greatest of our era right now. There is no one better than him in our era. So you can put him on your top 5, your top 10, and know that, all right, that's a good decision kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But in my opinion, yeah, he won, man. The bars were complex. Everything had thought. Frankie, you had nailed it on the head when you said last week, bro. He's an artist. He is an artist. And we got to see that shit. You know what I'm saying? We got to see him in his best artistry, in his best form. And that was fire, man. So, like, I'm sad because I kind of wanted to keep it going because that shit's been flooding my playlist, man.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, like, it did get a little heavy at the end there, man. It got real personal. There's a lot of wild accusations and
so wait, let's slow it down a little bit because I'm not all the way up in on it. Okay, I get some news from Brian. I get some news from my son. So catch me up. So has Brian? So has I know. Last thing Brian was telling me was like Drake came out with another track. I didn't hear it. I can't say I heard it, but did Kenny come back out with another one too to counter that, or that it ended with Drake? Drake got the last one. It was just like it was like a firework. It was like a dud or something.
Well, a lot of people that that are not like hardcore Drake fans, it got like a mixed reception. For the most part, like a lot of people they weren't really feeling it like that. So it was kind of like a dud, And I think a big part of the reason why it didn't get like a big warm reception is because it felt more like a defense track than it did a diss track. He spent majority of the time trying to deny all the allegations against him, as opposed to like concentrating on his attack. So since he was on the back foot like throughout the whole track,
Brian, sound like you talking about a boxing match.
It literally felt like it, bro. It was throwing.
Yeah, he had him on the rope.
You could tell his back was against the ropes in that song. Like, you even have people commenting saying that, like, he sound like he's exhausted, he's tired of this. Like, he even kind of said so himself. He's like, I ain't.
That's crazy. So it's like
tracks,
it's like measuring their spirit in a sense. Like you're measuring the spirit that's left over after the words been exchanged and shit like that.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it because not like us and this, like the energies they were like completely opposite. Like not like us was like way up here, and then Hard Part 6 like it was a lot more like mellow. Like it was really just Drake, on the defense, and saying stuff like, "Oh, we fed you that information. Like, oh, you're over here making tracks based off of fake information and this and that." And like,
Yep.
A lot of people kind of have this perception of Drake that he's kind of a liar, right? So like, for example, he says he don't have an 11-year-old daughter, but how do we know that? The only reason we know his son exists is because Pusha T told us. Adonis would be non-existent if Pusha T never had that beef with Drake. So, we could take his word for it that the 11-year-old don't exist, but how do we know? And then
that was a big part of it. A lot of it felt like he had to, like you were saying, B, like he was defending himself. And like, when someone is like overly defending themselves, it's like, okay, what are you trying to defend? If it's not true, move on from it and be done. But no, you find yourself having to try to defend yourself. So it's like, okay, are you guilty? Are you really
that's
guilty?
One of those
Does the
things.
shoe fit?
Yeah, that's one of those things. Like when you defend yourself like super hard, it makes people wonder like how much validity there is to the actual allegations. Like you should have done what Kendrick did, because he accused Kendrick of beating his wife or whatever. Kendrick didn't even address it at all. He just straight up ignored it and just kept on the attack.
It was calculated, man. It was very calculated. And now there's
I really like how Brian's spinning is like a boxing match, man. I like that, man.
Yo, it really felt like it. Yo, think about it too. Like going back to that Cassidy one for a minute, when Cassidy was doing the Problem versus the Hustler.
Oh yeah,
there was a ring announcer. You remember he was doing a ring announcement. There was a bell to like rapper. You got 30 seconds.
You don't really
Like,
want the
no,
drama, nigga.
yeah. No, nothing below the waist. Like he really turned that into a battle in the ring, and that's really what this felt like, man. Like everybody in the world got to spectate this from the spectator seat, and we really got to see two giants clash.
I thought it was just warming up, bro. I did not expect it to come to a halt like that, bro. I thought it was just still warming up, man. I wanted Kendrick to drop at least one more club banger.
At least,
style, okay.
Yeah, at least.
I was hoping for one more though, but I guess since the heart was so weak, there was really no reason to respond to it.
Fuck that, man. 50 would have kicked the man while he was down, bro. Okay,
yeah, and still been talking shit till this day. 10 years later, he still be talking shit about Ja Rule.
For real, he won't let that one rest.
You said you was gangster. You ain't never popped.
Yeah. But I think throughout the course of the battle, Drake definitely had a few like missteps. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like with the with that track with the AI Snoop, the AI
with Pac and Snoop,
yeah.
I listened to it one time. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not listening to it again. I'm not gonna analyze it. I was like, Pac and Snoop, like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what?
Yeah, I didn't care for that track at all. First of all, Snoop is still alive. Like, are you using the AI Snoop? And then, like, Pac verse, it didn't sound like stuff Pac would say, really. So it was just like, that one fell flat for me. No. I didn't like that one. And then
it would be dope if we could close out today with some of those songs or something, right?
Oh man,
what kind of copyright problems we have with that, man?
I read something about Kendrick opening up the copyright.
So we could play Not Like Us and it'll be all good because Kendrick.
We might have to put that on that. We might have to put this on this one entrance and outro right here, man.
Like man of the people.
The real people's chant, bro. The people's chant. Yeah, Kendrick got my love, man. I love what he's done for hip hop, man. Like Drake, don't get me wrong, man. Drake, he played the game and he made a lot of good hits and stuff, but he didn't elevate it. He didn't do anything. He didn't change it up. He didn't get new people looking at it. You know what I'm saying? He just participated in it, and he did it well. He made a lot of money, made a lot of bangers, and hey, kudos to you, dog. You did it. That's what the game is to be. But when you got a player that comes along, man, every once in a while that elevates it, makes it better, and then makes it more seen, you know what I'm saying, and uses that message to do better with, like, that's the winner right there. That's the champ. So Kendrick's got the keys, bro.
So it's numbers that people remember in the long run, right? Jay-Z said it best, like, men lie, women lie, numbers don't, right? So like,
well, during this
huh?
Oh, I was gonna say, during this this whole beef, Kendrick definitely won the numbers game.
Oh yeah, no, but the thing is, like, Drake is famous because of numbers, right? Like that's his whole thing. Like that's gonna be his whole legacy. Like that's gonna be part of his whole legacy. It's like he has the numbers to back it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that speaks to, like, his fame, and that speaks to, like, a lot of things. But like Kendrick would be more like when it comes to numbers and shit, right? In history, like Drake would be like, who's somebody that's like a legend, like that everybody knows, right? In a sport or something, right? But then you always hear about, like, those people that nobody really talked about, but they hit just as many home runs, or like, they made just as many hits, but nobody, they're talked about less. Like that might end up being Kendrick in history. You know what I'm saying?
They already made a comparison, to them being like Prince and Michael Jackson. They made that comparison to them. You got two icons that killed it, but very differently. And so that's how they compare Drake and Kendrick.
Yeah, that might be a fair comparison too, right? Because MJ, he was considered like the king of pop and this and that, and he had that widespread, like, mass appeal. And Prince, like, he was doing his thing at the same time. He was getting Grammys, he was getting accolades and stuff like that, even though he wasn't as widely like renowned or accepted. Like he still had the respect
he wasn't as famous
of
on
the
paper.
industry and of the people. Right, yeah, on paper, yeah, like they don't have the same accolades in terms of like, the record sales and this and that, but everybody knows the Princess. I think it's gonna be similar.
Everybody.
Yeah. People will remember how Kendrick slayed Drake. That was
Who gonna tell that story when we gone, man? That's the thing. We're gonna tell that story when it's only gonna be the numbers that still stand to tell the story.
I mean, there's gonna be historians, rap historians. You know what I me? There's gonna be documentarians and things like that. It might be in a little.
Now think of you say that right. You say that right, B. But you watch a lot of boxing, and you know about all the new fans in boxing. Okay, right? You know about all the new fans in boxing. When they judge a fight or a boxer or something, is it anything like what you think, B?
Well, I feel that's a little different,
No,
with
it's
boxing.
not, because they're gonna if they start talking boxing with you, they're gonna start bringing up just numbers and facts. They're gonna tell you Leonard was better than Hagler, period, because that's what the numbers say.
Well, the new fans might
but you've seen the fight, But you've seen the fight. You get what I'm saying? You see the difference. But if you're gone, you can't tell that story. Like, and most people are just gonna be going off the numbers. Like, and not everybody's gonna be listening. Not saying there are people that still tell boxing stories, but still, most ignorant people just go out yelling out and writing whatever they want on everybody on people posts. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So, in the long run, it's gonna be the numbers, and somebody's gonna just be saying, "No, Drake was always better than Kendrick." What? Y'all know? Y'all know what y'all talking about. Look at the numbers. Look at he got more Grammys. Look.
That and that's the thing too, though. Like with numbers, man, that's a very straightforward game, because like that conversation did come up. Drake's got 13, Kendrick's got 3 or 4. But then when you really think about it, it's like, okay, well, Drake's a part of 3 different genres of music. He's got some hip hop, he's got some R&B, he's got some pop. So he's got 13 across the 3.
He got some soca.
Right. Like he's got 13 across the 3 genres, is where Kendrick's got 3 in 1. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like when you do those number comparisons, okay, let's do just hip hop. Oh, well, yeah, on paper, just hip hop, Kendrick is the superior artist. But Drake's reach, he's also gone into other things, again, like Michael. So, you got to be real specific with the numbers, but I definitely see your point, Frank. Yeah, man, we could go with something simple as what was the best Power Rangers? Well, the OGs will tell you that it was the first Power Rangers, right? Like when Tommy came up in there, he was kicking everybody's ass and shit. Yeah. Mighty Morphin was the OG.
Green Ranger.
But then you might get some people that are like, nah, man, the turbo, the one with the cars, or the ninjas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like different fan, but like, the OGs know what's up. It was Mighty Morphin. That was it. So
that's true. Like, Dino Thunder, like.
Yeah. What? I know who. That conversation will come up in the future about numbers and shit for sure. And it's gonna take people like us that were there to have witnessed it, the storytellers, to kind of lay it out. Like, look, I was there when it was written. All right, chill out.
Hector, Brian, one of these days when Keyshawn our age, and they're having these conversations, they're gonna be talking about the best shows when they was little. Keyshawn gonna be talking about YouTube shows like Banana Cat. Okay.
Oh man. Shit, what we grew up with, man. We had Rugrats. We had
like that whole Nickelodeon thing, Rugrats.
I remember wrestling being like a big commodity in our school.
Yeah. WWF.
Wrestling, hell yeah.
Still WWF.
Now that's one that's cool, man. Because everybody agrees for like wrestling, the Attitude Era with Undertaker and Stone Cold, and like that motherfuckers was showman. Yeah, Degeneration. Everyone agrees that the Attitude Era was it, yo.
Yeah.
Yep. That's good stuff, man. Used to be in the school bathroom and fighting and shit. Y'all remember that? Just handing out stunners.
Bro, like, do the little chest chop.
Yeah, it is. That fucking Ric Flair slap.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yo, man,
I
how
love
we
it,
gonna throw
yo.
that not like us on the back end, man? We gotta do that, man. It's time
Oh,
to it's time
man.
to close it up, though. Heck, man, we over time now.
Oh, damn. Yeah, we are. Let me share this mid journey real quick, man. Go ahead and
Hey, from minds to matter, man. From minds to matter. From our heads to your eyes, no need to visualize. Mid journey will share with you exactly what's on our mind. And with that, it's time. Take it away, Heck.
All right. So, you know, most of our conversation was about communication, man. Just
I
talking.
like this picture, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And like
Where do thoughts
learning
come
and just
from, bro?
yeah, where do your thoughts come from, man? And where do they go?
Cosmos, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Hector. Go ahead, do your thing,
Oh,
man.
bro,
I like this
Frank,
one.
you
Go
were
ahead.
on it, bro. That was exactly it. Yo, it was exactly it, dog. For real. Like, yeah, what it all comes from somewhere, man.
For
And,
real,
like,
man. Where do thoughts come from, man? The cosmos, man.
And so
A
I
little
felt like
knowledge.
this was dope. This was a dope ass one right here, man. So yeah, just let give it to the people, man. Just talk, learn, get in and share and communicate. Keep doing that.
Hey, if this resonates with anybody, man, you know, thoughts from the cosmos, if this resonates with anybody, you can find it at pieceofyours.store, okay? You guys come support your favorite your podcast accountability partners. That's Frankie, that's Hector, that's Brian, man.
Yes, sir.
You want to go ahead and close this out, Heck?
I'm going to do that. So again, y'all, thank you. Pieceofyours.store. You'll find that in the description. And you know, something we wanted to be a little bit more mindful of, y'all, is just, you know, hey, if you're watching it, you liked it at any point, hit the like button. You know, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. And do us a favor and go ahead and share that with someone. So someone that you know could you benefit from our conversation, someone that, you know, hey, you thought it was funny, you saw something or heard something that made you laugh, share it with someone that you might feel that will have the same reaction. You'll be helping us out. So with that said, for all y'all that came through and let us borrow some time, we'll see you next week on PC of Mine. Much love, y'all.
One love.